The league or the season 2018 started off kicked off last weekend, whereby as Highlanders were fixtured against the Black Rhinos, and that game was played. It being the first game, I think you agree with me that it was a test of the machine to try and see how strong we are against opponents in the same league with us, and in a competition whereby it's not a one game situation, it's a marathon. We had a lot to look at as well as Highlanders, putting into cognizance the fact that we have embarked on a new project altogether for this coming 3 years, whereby we have agreed within the Highlanders family to look at our junior police. If you want it to be that way, maybe resuscitate our junior police and also go back to our old ways of using them as feeder groups to the main team. Yeah, indeed, we did promote a few players from the under 18s and the Bosso 90, who now make the larger or the bigger stake of the main team. I think in general the boys did very well, holding a strong side like the Black Rhinos with a lot of experience in their team. I think the boys did really hold their own and came to the party. They did not disappoint. Ariel is one of the seasoned players within our team. I think he showed a lot of maturity. He conducted this area very well. I think he controlled the defense in a very professional manner. Yes, we got scored that goal by Rhinos, but I think it was just more of lack of communication between him and his defenders. The defense, of course, was with a new player that has not been active as much in the pre-season games. That's the Madinda Ndlovu. But I think really to an extent, he was the most solid defender on the day for us. Although, I still feel that there's some areas that he's got to improve on, which is starting play from the back. I think he was mostly pumping the balls up front more than anything else. But in terms of the defensive principles, I think he applied them, very well. The rest of the players in Peter, Mudua, the captain, Honest, and McLive, I think they really came to the party. They did well, although Peter was slightly below what I expected him to give to me. He was at times, getting lost along the play. We did not have our regular defensive link player or bench Mutsala, who has settled very well in our team due to other reasons, but he is our player. He is our player, and we are working around the clock to get him to play this next game. In his place, we used Sila, whom I should really think that the boy is improved tremendously. He showed why he's probably a player for that position. He's a no-nonsense kind of a player, which is dangerous at times. You become too hard, you get penalized, and such we got a free kick against us, and this guy scored from that free kick. So yeah, I think apart from that, Sila has shown that he's a player who wants to give his all to the team, and has a lot of room to improve going forward. He's got a lot of room to improve. The age is on his side, and I'm satisfied with the performance he showed last Sunday. On the wings, we used the two players whom we think have got the pace, because this is where our play is all zeroed on. The wingers, we need fast wingers, we need wingers who can dribble, we need wingers who've got the ability to bring in crosses. Makarose was just coming from an injury, was just cleared. He performed below his standard, so to speak. I had expected more than what he gave to me on Sunday. But I should think the worry is just that he was coming from an injury. He scored a goal. Maybe it was due to the brilliance of the supplier of that ball. But he scored. For him to score that goal, it shows how much important the player is as well when we talk about Godfrey. On the other hand, we had the vice captain, Gabriel, who I think wanted to do much more than we gave to us. He was also credited by scoring that goal, which I think he stole again from Niger. But the fact that he had that zeal or vision of scoring that ball the way he scored it, it shows as well now that he's a player that wants to be scoring goals this season. The attacking midfield, we played with Brian Banda and Nigel. Right? Nigel is a prolific player. He's such a talented young man. You look at his body, you can think that maybe he can be intimidated by the big bodies of the opponents or so forth. But he is one boy that I think he doesn't even look at the size of the opponents. He can take on any defender, which was witnessed by the way he created the goal that was scored by Godfrey. He also comes from an injury. I was a bit worried to whether he was going to finish the whole game, but not really. Not really worried about whether he got tired or not, but I'm worried about the input and to the team, which he has shown is an influential player. Brian Banda, he's sort of a shy type of a player. I think he's on the quiet side of the players that we've got, but his contribution is very, very, very important, because he's a hard worker. All what I didn't see from him from the last game is the cracking of those shots, because he's got a powerful shot. Not knowing why he didn't create those opportunities, but as we go along, he will unlock him to do that. The striker was a bit quiet. Senchari was a bit on the quiet side. Didn't really show as much as I would expected from him. He could have had one or two goals if he was a bit clinical. But when we changed the tactics along the game, and used him as sort of like a second striker, he did exceptionally well. His marking was good, his passes were good. But yeah, in that same game we had to change because Rhinos was not it was a tricky customer really. They didn't come to give the points in a silver platter. They came to fight and win the game as well. So having them scored that equalizer, we had to dig deeper, and try and look at other weapons that we could use to win the game. That is now trying to use our McClive, the strong boy, to try and now give us the supply, push him slightly in the attacking position, bring in Obukosi at the back there, and it paid. I know our supporters do not look at the game and read the game the way we read it. That's what probably would have been going through their minds. How ngafaki defender nasdingi goal. But football is all about systems, about reading the games, about studying your opponents and so forth, and that has become our tool when we look for a goal where we push in McClive because of his ability to bring in good crosses and the hard shots that he's got. Immediately we nearly got the winner again, but the vice captain was slightly late to get into the box. But minutes later, we got a goal from one of McClive's crosses, which was scored by the captain. Yeah, I think in a nutshell, the game was not an easy game for us, especially that was the first game of the season and playing at home. We had a lot that was, pressurizing us. The supporters needed to see whether there's a change. The players needed to also consolidate their position within the first 11. And it was a bit, I should admit, there was a bit of pressure on all stakeholders, because we badly needed, or we desperately needed that win in front of our supporters.